Tim and Jim from James. It's all very confusing, but we're here at Tea in the Park, Valado, and you're not due on stage for a wee while yet, but I believe you're going to have a sleep beforehand.
always a kip. My body, literally, it's almost like, what's that sleep thing when you have to go to sleep?
Apnea?
No, is it? No, that's
I don't
something
know, is
else.
that not? Oh man, we can't remember that name.
It's that Wim
but you know that.
It's that Wim Wenders movie with that guy who always falls asleep in.
Yeah. So that's kind of like you before a gig.
That's me before a gig.
Yeah. Your body knows that you've got the rigours. Narcolepsy.
Yeah, well, I'm going for sleep as well, but that's just because I was enjoying myself too much last night after the Manchester gig, so I need a little bit of recovery time. That's all.
I heard it was quite wild, the Manchester gig.
Manchester gig was very wild.
Yeah,
lovely.
fantastic.
It was real homecoming, crazy, mad audience. Wanted to tear us apart and get on stage at every opportunity.
I mean, you've been on the circuit for a while now, so you must know. I mean, are all gigs the same to you, or do they?
No, because we change the set every night. We have 80 songs in circulation. We purposely alter it. We purposely sometimes make it hard on ourselves and on an audience.
Yeah.
So no sit down last night. And you
no sit down last night.
And you give yourself challenges, and it was still a great gig. If people complain about sit down, they've been
Well, I was going to say that's. I mean, some people would say, okay, it's such a big hit, and it's to miss out from a set. That's.
I think
a sin.
I think for James fans, they know what they're going to get when they come to a James show, which is kind of selfishly from our side what we want to play most.
Yes.
And I know that sounds a little selfish, but we're there every night, so we tend to pick the songs which we think are going to make us play the best we can.
Yep.
And us being up there playing things because we have to kind of negates that.
No, you probably lose enjoyment, do you, if you play the same stuff?
If you're forced to play something you don't want to play, there becomes, you run through motions, and that emotional connection with it disappears. And the last thing we want to do with a song, especially a specialist sit down, is to be up there trundling through it and not want to.
Yes.
So what we tend to do is we try to leave it as a treat, don't we?
As a treat.
Yeah, as a treat.
Or change it. Like we put sit down on the list early, but we won't know how we're going to start it. So Mark might suddenly just start playing piano and we start really gentle, or we might just go 1, 2, 3, 4, kick in, and so you keep a level of unexpectedness about it that keeps it fresh.
That's good. So, are we going to get sit down at Valado?
Not at the moment.
Really?
But
you heard it here first.
Not
at the moment.
I've written the set list, but Jim and Saul might put it. If you do get sit down,
for a tenner, I'll see what I can do.
If you do
How
get
about
it, it'll be because Jim and Saul pressurised us into putting sit down.
Yeah, let me pressurise. We're pressurising. In fact, let's put this plea that we are now pleading to James to please sit down. Otherwise, you won't get it. If the Daily Record didn't ask, you wouldn't get it. But now you're going to get it.
Do you know what? Will be so good you won't use it. You won't miss it.
You mean you're going to go against? Okay, well, we'll argue about that later. But meantime, you've got some brilliant new things out, and you've sort of collaborated with somebody Scottish as well, the animator.
We've known this amazing animator called Ainsley Henderson.
Who, of course, he was in Fame Academy, wasn't he?
Fame Academy.
In his former carnation as a pop star.
In Fame Academy, he asked for me to go in and work with him. And so I got to know him then, but I didn't go in because I hate those shows. I hate them. But he was the brightest spark on them. And Saul and Mark went and worked with him, and they made an album with him. And so we've known him for years, and he comes to all the gigs. And then he became an animator, a brilliant animator, about 5 years ago. We'd been looking at his work, going, "That's beautiful. We want to work with this guy." And basically, for Moving On, which is a song about my mum dying. And it was actually a very beautiful day. She was 90 and ready to go, and it was really uplifting. It was more like a birth. He came up with this animation that makes you cry, and also
in a lovely way.
In a beautiful way.
Yeah.
There's this positivity to it.
Yes,
the whole record is got death as Earth's fingers, but it's a very uplifting record. But go and see Ainsley's Moving On video on YouTube. It's the best video we've ever made, and I defy you to not be moved to tears in 3.5 minutes, which is quite a skill.
Timor, of course, meaning orgasm in French.
Really? Is that really?
I believe so.
Oh God, that's really...
I mean, maybe I've just talked absolute rubbish, but I believe so, yes.
Really?
So this is the dichotomy of
we wanted a title.
Life.
We wanted a title that didn't depress people, and also that gave the albums. It's almost like the Day of the Dead celebration of death, of life within death, and an acceptance that if you have death sitting on your shoulder, you're going to live life more fully. As a result, you're going to kiss the person you want to kiss, and you're going to say "I love you" to the person you love, and. I've got such a strong urge to kiss you. And so it's a very celebratory record. So Le Petit Mort was a playful title that has a connotation of death, but it also has a connotation of orgasm.
Brilliant. Now, very quickly, Bellado, it's the last year. Fond memories of Bellado, and are you looking forward to the future of Queen's Park?
Fantastic. I mean, we were trying to work out how many times we played here, and we reckon we probably played here more than any other band. We reckon it must have been played about 8 times.
Wow. Apart from Biffy and Clyro.
Do they hold the record?
10 times, yeah.
10 times, all right.
Biffy.
So almost.
You ruined our day.
I'm sorry, I feel really bad.
But they are local.
We'll have to come back next year.
It makes it.
Exactly.
There's a bias.
Yeah.
And I bet you it's been all ups and downs and everything.
It's always been brilliant.
Yeah,
Tea in the Park has always been one of the ones we've always looked forward to playing. The audiences here are so passionate behind us.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant. We're going to watch you tonight. Let's pray that you please sit down. But if you don't, it'll still be amazing. James, thank you very much.
Thank you.